I recently went to Stratford and I spent 24 hours eating at some of the best establishments in the city. I've partnered with Destination Stratford to share with you some awesome food, including the Savour Sip Trail. This fully walkable culinary tour will take us across downtown as we eat delicious food and meet some of the amazing people behind the dishes. I'm also going to share with you some great activities in the city to help burn off those indulgent calories and show you a great place to stay located right in the heart of downtown. If you're looking for a little getaway or planning to see a show at the Stratford Festival, this video is the key to filling out your weekend-long itinerary. Let's get started, and try not to drool. The Savour Sip Trail runs from May 1st to October 31st. No need to purchase ahead of time. Just head to the Stratford Tourism office the day you arrive to purchase and collect your vouchers and map. And the staff there will give you a lay of the land and help you get started. They also offer the Chocolate Trail and Bacon and Ale Trail. This is a self-guided tasting experience, and you get to select 5 places from the list, and there's lots to choose from. On the map, you'll find the names, locations, and operating hours of each of the participating locations. To help you make selections, the items offered at each spot are listed on the back. The different trails and maps are available online, so I'll link them below. I had already picked out my choices before getting to Stratford, so let's head to the first one. This fun little candy store is located on a beautiful street, which feels like it's straight out of a movie. It's located just steps from Lake Victoria and Shakespearean Gardens. I popped inside to grab some candy and meet with the owner.
My name is Kelly Lindsay. I'm the owner of Corner Store Candy Co. and we are located at 27 York Street in beautiful Stratford, Ontario. We are a gourmet candy store. We source gummies from around the world, the best, the freshest, the most flavorful. We also offer dirty sodas. We have nostalgic and retro candy and things you can't find everywhere else. My favorite thing in this store is our Everything But the Bagel mix. It is a gummy mix that is a combination of literally everything. You've got gummy, sugar coated, and sour, and it's all the best stuff.
It was really great chatting with Kelly, and she filled me in on exactly what I would be getting with my Savour Sip voucher.
You're going to choose one of our signature dirty sodas, and you get to do a small gummy pick and mix and pick all of your favorite things and try some new stuff.
I picked out some candy, which I was planning to bring home for my daughters, but I was curious to hear more about the dirty soda options.
So our best seller is the Dr. Love. It's a Dr. Pepper, strawberry, vanilla, and a splash of cream. We sell the most of that every single day, but the dirty is the OG dirty soda, which is a Coke with lime, coconut, and a splash of cream. That's kind of where the dirty soda trend started from.
And I went with the OG dirty soda. Corner Store Candy Co. was a great first stop. I made my way through town to the next stop on the Savour Sip Trail. This next stop is a coffee shop by day and wine bar by night, and it's located inside this beautifully restored building. First thing I did was meet with the owner in their upstairs co-working space.
Hi, my name is Johnny Kate. I'm the owner of Birch and Wine. We're a cafe wine bar by day and do beautiful flights at nighttime. We are open 7 days a week, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Wine bars open to the public. My passion is wine and coffee. One of my main tattoos. Concept is kind of really simple. It's just 2 things I'm in love with, and I've worked as a sommelier pretty much half my life now. I've managed and ran and built, I think, probably 20 or so plus restaurants now. I feel like I retired into the cafe. It's a little nicer because I'm home for dinner now. No more late nights, which is cool. But I still get to follow my passion of coffee and then a little touch on the wine bar side too, so it's pretty fun.
While Johnny and I chatted, the kitchen team prepared my Savour Sip item.
We offer our Cubano, which is one of our classic sandwiches. It's shaved American ham. We render down some pork shoulder with a little bit of lime juice, and we do some beautiful fresh sourdough from Wild Hog, just outside of Stratford.
The sandwich was absolutely delicious and surprisingly filling. It was just a great spot for lunch, such a cool vibe in that place, and I really want to go back and do a flight of wines in the evening. My Stratford food tour was just kicking off, but before heading to my epic dinner spot, which you do not want to miss, I headed back to the Avon River and Lake Victoria to explore some of the natural beauty of this area. Not to be missed is Shakespearean Gardens. It's a small park and gardens along the banks of the Avon River. Stratford and the Avon River are named after William Shakespeare's hometown of Stratford upon Avon in England. The city has a really interesting interesting history. I made a video about it last year, so if you want to see that, I'll put a link to it below in the description. From the gardens, you can actually jump on this beautiful walking trail, which will take you all the way around Lake Victoria. There's lots of great views and parklands the whole way around. After getting my daily dose of nature, I headed to my accommodations to check in. I stayed at Henry House, which is just steps away from the Avon River and is located across the street from the Tom Patterson Theatre. This place is very centrally located, with many of the restaurants and theaters just a few minutes walk away. It's a self-check-in system, so you'll get your keyless entry passcode about 15 minutes before check-in. Henry House has 3 suites, and my suite was called the Patio Suite. This place features some really cool design elements, including this massive headboard, the sun-filled sitting room, and the stained glass windows. A lot of these interesting pieces were reclaimed from an old church, which really adds to the character and charm of Henry House. The room features a mini fridge, microwave, and coffee. After settling in at Henry House and working up an appetite, I headed out for dinner to Bijou. Now, this is not part of the Savour Sip trail, but I did get a chance to meet with the team behind this popular and long-established restaurant, and I also got the opportunity to show you a couple of their locally sourced dishes.
Hi, Mark Simone, owner of the Bijou restaurant. I've owned the restaurant with my wife Linda for the last 11 years. We were big fans of the Bijou. The Bijou has a legacy of over a quarter of a century here in Stratford. We wanted to keep that legacy going, and we're big fans of farm to table. So we have a tremendous reputation of locally sourced goods, and we pride ourselves in that model. Of course, we do use global ingredients to complement a contemporary menu, but we're always looking for local farmers, local growers, be it proteins, be it produce, and to be able to bring it to our kitchen team and create some of the best meals in Stratford.
Hi, I'm Peter Williams, the front of house manager here at the Bijou restaurant. Been in the industry for about a decade now. I graduated from the winery and viticulture program up in Niagara College, and I brought that knowledge back with me to do wine pairings and just really speak to the wine and speak to the food more. Our head chef, Evan Trower, has curated an amazing menu, and I just couldn't be more proud to serve this food and pair it with the wines.
Next, I headed into the kitchen to get a behind-the-scenes look at how a locally sourced dish comes together.
My name is Chef Evan Trower. I am the head chef here at Bijou. We prioritize local produce and proteins as much as possible. Today, I'm going to be making a local Berkshire pork rack, cutting it off the bone, and my trusty sidekick down here will be cooking the sides for that. Brussels sprouts with local pork belly that we use to make our pancetta to go with the dish as well. This is just outside Guelph, this pork rack. Berkshire is like one of the top porks in the world, right? So it's tough to actually find. Yeah, we do our best to source locally. Obviously, it can be difficult sometimes, time of year, things like that. And obviously more exotic ingredients can come from elsewhere, right? But for the most part, we're in the bulk of local season. So these guys, this is about a 13 bone rack. Get about 12 off of this. I'm gonna cut the end piece first here. You'll see when I cut it, they are hefty pieces of protein, to say the least. So I'm just gonna go in here on the bone, and there we go. We have a nice, beautiful 2-rack chop that we're gonna grill up. So that's served with, like I said, Brussels sprouts that we blanch and cook with our house-made smoked pancetta. We don't really go overboard in terms of a lot of sort of extras to the protein itself. For the most part, proteins on the menu, I like to keep fairly standard and let it kind of speak for itself, especially a beautiful piece of meat like this. Just a little salt and pepper. You can kind of see the marbling through that. It's sort of specific to Berkshire. It's kind of like the sort of Wagyu of pork, if you will. It's pretty phenomenal. All right, we're gonna pop her on the grill here. Yeah, we're pretty much good to go. This is kind of the final touches on the dish. So here we have a quenelle, bit of grainy mustard. This puree that I just put down is a cipollini onion puree. We roast beautiful cipollinis. Cipollinis have a really sweet flavor in comparison to certain onions in the onion family. We put that down, and then obviously there is our horse of a pork. And then we have our sides here with the pan-seared sprouts and the in-house pancetta, local, of course. This is the final touch, which is we make a chicken stock that we then reduce into a nice jus, and then we fold a cherry sauce in. The idea, obviously, cherry and pork work really well together. And then we steep with a little bit of aromatics as well, and star anise, so they get a bit of star anise flavor through it. And then we have, actually from just down the road, local microgreens. Mizuna, which is a mustard green style microgreen, so that gives it another little added pop of mustard. and that's our pork dish.
Now, I don't necessarily have the vocabulary and I'm not any kind of authority on food, but this Berkshire pork was unbelievable. To me, it was different than any other pork I've had before. The texture of the meat was more like eating a really nice steak or a prime rib, and paired with the smoked pancetta and Brussels sprouts, this was a special meal. And Peter, the front of house manager, paired my dish with a really good red wine. They also served a zucchini salad that was unlike anything I've had before. Staying true to their mission, this salad features locally sourced ingredients. The zucchini is pressed in olive oil supplied by a Stratford-based company and retailer called Olive Your Favorites. Next comes a tomato and squash compote. Then comes the most interesting part of this dish, the tomato sorbet, which is a variation of tomato and zucchini. And when it's placed on the salad, it's still frozen, but as the dish is built and the sorbet warms up, by the time it reaches the table, the sorbet has started to melt into the dish. The salad is finished with squash blossoms, a cream made of parsley steeped in cream with garlic, shallots, and white wine. Next comes the fennel pollen, which adds some floral notes, followed by togarashi seasoning, which is a Japanese seasoning with sesame, dehydrated citrus, and a variety of dried chilies, and finally a microgreens and mushroom vinaigrette made from locally sourced mushrooms. It's super unique and delicious and a very interesting take on salad. That was such a great experience, but I have to move on because I still have plenty to do before the sun sets on this really packed 24 hours in Stratford. This video would not have been possible without the help of Stratford's official tourism marketing team, Destinations Stratford. They're an award-winning team committed to creating an inclusive, collaborative, and community-first approach to developing and marketing Stratford as a year-round cultural destination. In a 2025 poll by CBC, Canadians voted Stratford as one of the top 10 must-visit destinations in Canada. So you don't have to take my word for it. If you're planning a trip to Stratford, your first stop should be visitstratford.ca, and I'll put a link to it below. On their website, you'll find event calendars, itineraries, culinary trail info, and so much more. My next stop was Job Site Brewing. This was the longest walk I made for the Savour Sip trail, but even that was only about 10 minutes. Stratford is so walkable. Job Site Brewing has a pretty cool location, and it's actually located in a historic building just a little ways down the tracks from the Stratford train station. And you can take Via Rail to Stratford, by the way. You can take it from Union to Stratford, and then it's only a 10-minute walk from the station into downtown Stratford. Anyway, Job Site Brewing was created by two carpenters named Dave and Phil. And the old building that they occupy was once a lumber yard, so it's quite fitting. And it's a brew house, so what goes well with beer? Pizza, of course. And they have a wood-fired pizza oven baking up pies from 12 p.m. until close. The pizza looked delicious, but I was so full from my meal at Bijou, so I just grabbed a couple beers for the Savour Sip trail. And then I was on my way to the next location. Next, I headed back to downtown and over to the most unique place on this trip. In fact, it's the only place like it in the entire world. But I'll let the owner tell you all about it.
So I'm Lee Cooney. I'm the owner-operator of the Little Prince Micro Cinema. We are a 12-seat movie theater that has the Guinness World Record for the world's smallest purpose-built cinema. I own a second location in Cambridge. I've lived in Stratford for about 15 years or so. I came here because I loved Stratford. I'm an arts guy. I'm an artist at heart. I used to do that for a living. I painted, I sculpted, and I wanted to come to a place that felt like small town, but had big city amenities, you know, somewhere I didn't have to sort of leave to go find culture and find, you know, the types of people who would appreciate the kinds of things I am into as well. And then I started involving myself in the community. I used to co-host a 48.5-hour, as we called it, film competition for short filmmakers, local amateur short filmmakers. And we used to host these competitions, the screenings for them in different locations around town, and we thought we should just have somewhere more permanent. You know, it allowed us to screen these year-round. So we thought, well, I've got this little space in the back of my gift shop, but then I thought, well, I'll tier the seating, I'll have wallpaper. One thing led to another. It started looking more like a tiny movie theater rather than a screening room, and then I came across the Guinness record, and you know, and we were already smaller than that anyway, and then yeah, the rest is kind of history.
After my chat with Lee, I got some banana-flavored cotton candy.
Yeah, so we do make house-made cotton candy. We have dozens of flavors that we choose from every week. We've been making that house-made cotton candy since technically slightly before we opened, because we brought in the cotton candy machine to just to do fun little events here and there, and then the pandemic hit, right? So, and it suddenly, you know, unlike other businesses, we had already been shut down for 7 months before the pandemic came around. So when everyone else is going, oh man, a couple of weeks off, we'll shut down the business, we'll take a little vacation, we didn't have that luxury. So we had to literally look around and go, how can we make money here? And we sold a lot of Pop popcorn and a lot of our house-made cotton candy. And ever since then it's stuck, and now it's just a fun sort of hobby project for us to keep offering unusual flavors of cotton candy.
I really want to go back there and watch a classic movie. Another great spot, and right next door, is the Starlight. This place has a fun atmosphere and a really cool bar. They serve up great drinks, and they have shareable plates and entrees made with locally sourced ingredients. After my cocktail at the Starlight, I made my way down to the water and over to Tom Patterson Island to watch the sunset. It's here that I wanted to enjoy my job site brewing beer. Here on the island, it's actually legal to have a drink. I found a nice spot near the water and watched the sunset. It was honestly a long day of shooting and interviews, so it was really nice to be able to just unwind in this really peaceful spot. The next morning, I woke up and headed out for breakfast. Only 5 minutes away was a diner called Features. It's a classic diner right downtown. I got there pretty early in the morning, but the kitchen team was already hard at work. They have a great looking menu with some really interesting options. I went with the half order of pea eggs Benedicts, which comes with 2 poached eggs and pea bacon, served on French toast with hollandaise sauce. It also comes with a side of home fries. Honestly, it was delicious. My mouth is kind of watering just thinking about it now. I mean, who doesn't love a good diner breakfast? After my delicious breakfast, I made my way over to the boathouse, which was just across the street. This was something I was really looking forward to. I arrived just as the owner was preparing to open for the day.
Hi, I'm Kellen. I'm one of the owners of the boathouse here in Stratford. So we offer paddle boats, canoes, kayaks, rentals, and then we also have a tour boat that takes you out on the river, and then we have a snack bar as well. So the boathouse itself has been here since 1913. My family has owned and operated it since 1965. So that was my grandfather Ed and my grandma Audrey, and then my dad and mom took over when my grandpa passed away in '94. They just retired last year, so they did 30 years, and then knock on wood, I can do 30 years with my sister here. We have Mark here today. He's going to go out on a kayak. So basically he has about a mile to explore on the Lake Victoria, which is kind of a mill pond that's created by that dam there. So you can explore the tributaries, you can go up to the golf course, you can see the Tom Patterson Theatre, the Festival Theatre, also the El Marina, and then you can see all the beautiful historical homes along the river. There's also some nice little lagoons and swans that he'll be able to see. A little bit earlier he would have saw a bald eagle that came down this morning. We have lots of ospreys and herons as well.
It was so nice to get out on the water and see Stratford from a different perspective. But it's not just boat rentals at the boathouse. They have a nice cafe here too.
So we have a lot of locally sourced food. So we have back bacon from the little pork shop in Shakespeare. We do burgers, sandwiches. So our bread is all made from a local baker just on York Street. Salad, fruit bowls, and then we do soft serves and different sundaes. We have an olive oil sundae as well. That's with a local partnership with one of the olive stores here in Stratford.
And there is more to Lake Victoria than what you see. Once you're out on the water, there's actually these tributaries that go underneath footbridges, and you get some really beautiful scenic views. It's a lot of fun paddling under the bridges and the big tree branches hanging over the water. As much as I would have loved to just stay on the water and kept kayaking all day, I needed to move on. It was time to check out of my suite and head out of town, but not before making one final stop at my final Savour Sip location. This place is a local favorite and right along one of the major roads leading into Stratford. Not only is it a local favorite, but a preferred supplier of many of the eateries in town, including Bijou and Birch & Wine. You can tell when you walk around here that Marv and his team have a lot of pride about what they do, and the quality is pretty obvious. That's probably why this place is so busy.
I'm Marv Bockert. My wife Wendy and I are the owners of Wild Hog Country Market, and I would say the market here is the best place to buy local product. A lot of our focus is on meat, but as you can see, local produce, espresso bar, cafe. We really have a little bit of everything here. Come on out, check out the store. It's all local products and very high quality.
They have lots of ready-to-go meals, fresh Ontario produce, a huge deli and meat counter, and a great bakery and coffee bar. This place was just buzzing with activity, and you can tell it's a staple in the community. Marv's team was hard at work in the back, preparing cuts of meat, cooking and packing meals, and baking fresh breads and pastries for the bakery. And I was definitely in the right spot, because this is where you can collect your Savour Sip item.
We're offering our famous scone, our best-selling pastry in our whole cafe by far, but along with that, you get the drink of your choice. Any hot espresso bar drink, cappuccino, latte, whatever your preference is. Or if you prefer cold and all the heat, we have iced coffees, iced cappuccinos. There's quite a list in there. The girls would be glad to help you out.
And help me out they did. I handed over my last voucher and enjoyed my scone and coffee. This place is very impressive and it's far more than just a little market, but I think Marv sums it up best.
It's a destination market, not just a store. People love to sit here for a lot of the afternoon and bring their family, and you really got to experience it for yourself.
And just to add to what Marv said, I think Stratford is similar in that it's not just a small city, but a destination. With world-class live theater productions, incredible restaurants, historic and cozy inns and vacation rentals, and a very walkable downtown with plenty of outdoor activities, this place should be at the top of your weekend getaway list. But with that said, I'm heading home. Thank you Destination Stratford for partnering with me on this video, and thank you to you for watching. Please leave a comment below, let me know what you thought of the video, let me know if you're going to be planning a trip to Stratford. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, you know, all that stuff. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, see you next time.